The conflict in Ukraine continues to increase pressure on Afghanistan's wheat supply, food commodities, agriculture inputs and fuel prices. According to a recent report by the UN, access to seeds, fertilizer and water for irrigation is limited. Labor opportunities are scarce and people have incurred enormous debts to buy food over the past few months. This is the biggest market of flour, oil and other raw materials in Kabul, where merchants and customers complain about the skyrocketing prices as discussed.
After the war waged in Ukraine, the European countries tended towards Kazakhstan markets. As a result, the prices of wheat flour and edible oil soared. We see an increase of 700 to 800 Afghans in every sack of flour. The reason is the Ukraine-Russia conflict, and we are also affected. The prices are skyrocketing. People have limited income sources, and they have to decrease their purchases.
While some Taliban authorities acknowledge that the Ukraine-Russia crisis has had a negative global impact, they say it hasn't affected Afghanistan much. Still, some officials in the Afghan government worry about rising hunger.
Afghanistan is facing famine, but the world wants to prove itself a philanthropist and humanitarian by distributing a sack of flour and 5 kilograms of edible oil. It has no positive impact on the people.
Afghanistan has had an impartial foreign policy. Therefore, we haven't been affected much due to the international crisis, which is a confrontation of East and West, and which is a proxy war of the US and Russia.
But Afghan experts say 9 months after the Taliban takeover, the Ukraine-Russia crisis has exacerbated Afghanistan's food crisis.
Economically, it affected Afghanistan so much that Afghanistan import wheat from the Kazakhstans, oil, fuel, these things. It affected the whole region, especially Afghanistan.
And the situation is grim. The United Nations, the International Rescue Committee and Save the Children in separate reports last week confirmed that nearly 20 million people in Afghanistan, more than half the population, are facing acute hunger. Almost 10 million of those people are children. Zmaryalai Abasin, CGTN, Kabul.